Okay, here we go with our next lesson. So it's lesson 6, and it's multiplying decimals by powers of 10. All right, so powers of 10, are, remember these numbers here, and there are more, but 10 is a power of 10. And sometimes we can just multiply something by 10, and sometimes we're going to have it multiplied by 10 to the first power, which is the same as 10. So remember that when we have an exponent, we have a base, so that's the big number, and the base is what's going to get multiplied by itself, and the exponent is going to tell us how many times to do that, okay? So you're going to multiply that 10 one time. So 10 to the first power equals 10, or 10 to the first power. We never write 10 to the first power ever, but I just want to show you guys so you guys understand that. In this case, 10 to the second power, which would be 10 squared, means you're going to have 10 times 10 because you take the base times itself that many times. 10 times 10 is 100. So see that? If we have 10 cubed, it would be 10 times 10 times 10. Well, 10 times 10 we know is 100. And then plus with that extra 0, it's 1,000. Whoop, there should be an equal sign. And then 10 to the fourth would be 10 times 10 times 10 times 10. Well, if 10 to the third, or 10 cubed was 1,000, we know we just have to add another 0 onto that. So it would be 10,000. You're going to need to have this chart today so that you can do a lot of these problems. So make sure you write down this chart. You can pause me now and come back to this. All right. So now, I'm hoping that you guys remember how to do this, but if you don't, that's okay. I'm learning a lot of new concepts. But this is from page 412. I'm going to go ahead and write these as examples in your book so you understand what to do. If you have 54 hundredths times 10, we need to do the multiplication here. We do not want you to do the multiplication where you actually do long multiplication, like written out. We want this to be done in your head. So if you know that this is multiplying by 10, we want this one to be 10 times greater. And if something's going to be greater, we're going to move the decimal that way, okay? Move decimal to the right to make the number bigger. Okay, so in this case then, if I'm trying to make 54 hundredths bigger, I would move the decimal over one time because there's 1 0 here. So then my answer would be 5.4 because I just moved the decimal over there. Okay, let's try another one. If we have 8 and 32 hundredths times 100, there are 2 zeros. So in order to make this bigger, I just need to move it 2 zeros to the, or 2 places to the right because of the 2 zeros. So boom, boom. My answer is now 832. Okay, and I'm going to put a little star here as a sign. Move to the right the number of zeros. Okay, so now let's try another one. If we have 7.46 times 1,000, there's 1, 2, 3 zeros, so I'll move it 3 spots. So what I'm going to do is actually write 746 over here and then move it here. 1, 2, we don't have a 0 here, so we'll have to add another one. So that would go here. So 7,460. Okay, so let's make a note. Add zeros if necessary. All right, so now that covers the ones with 10, 100, or 1,000, but that doesn't cover the ones that have the exponents in them. So rearrange here so you can really see it. So let's try this one. If we have 4.81, so 4 and 81 hundredths times 10 cubed, That means, 10 cubed, go up here. How many zeros are in 10 cubed? 1, 2, 3. So we would move 3 spots. So again, I'm going to write down 481, and then I'm going to go 1, 2, hey, I need another one. So now it's 4,810, and I know that looks like a decimal, it's not. Okay. So now imagine if the decimal point was here like it was over here, and I moved it over 3 spots, it would be 1, 2, 3. So the decimal is at the end, which just makes it 4,810. Okay, let's try one more. We'll do 67.2 times 10 to the first power. How many zeros are in 10 to the first power? Well, 10 to the first power is 10. So that means there's 1 0 here. So again, I write down my 672. I know I'm moving only over 1 spot, so it's now 672. All right, let us know if you need help.